Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A Minnesota family is mourning after what Sioux Falls police call a tragic accident. A toddler who fell from the third-story window of a Sioux Falls hotel on Saturday has died. That's according to a social media post from the child's parents. In the post, they call him a real-life superhero because his organs will be used to help others.
A Sioux Falls murder suspect is hung up in the court system. Amir Boudouin is accused of kidnapping, raping, and killing a woman in 2020. Last year, he was deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial, so the judge ordered him to get treatment. In court, we learned that treatment has been delayed because of a lack of openings at the South Dakota Human Services Center in Yankton. Boudouin will remain in the Minnehaha County Jail until a spot opens up and his treatment can begin.
A man with a history of dealing drugs in Sioux Falls is headed back to federal prison. A judge sentenced 31-year-old Kevin Ronabon to 11 years behind bars. His latest conviction involves meth. According to court documents, he had several customers in Sioux Falls. He'd typically sell them multiple pounds of meth, and they would distribute the drugs to more people. It began in 2020 and continued until he was arrested in July of last year. In 2016, Ronabon was convicted of dealing marijuana. In that case, he and two other men brought hundreds of pounds of pot from California to Sioux Falls.
Now let's take our first look at today's weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens in the Storm Center. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Perry. Good morning, everybody. Our weather today, well, a little drier. It looks like the remnant showers are pushing out. And temperatures, well, we'll recover to 62 in Sioux Falls today, 58 in Pierre, 50 degrees Rapid City, where more shower activity will be on the scene this afternoon, and the winds will be picking up there too, 20 to 35. Looks like some rain on the way tonight for far southern KELOLAND. We'll have the latest on Futurecast coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Brian. Residents in Sioux County, Iowa are cleaning up following yesterday's severe weather. Here's a look at some of the damage left behind in Hull. You can see a tree fell onto a backyard play equipment. The Sioux County Sheriff says no one was near the equipment when it happened. And here's a look at the damage near Sioux Center. As you can see, buildings are destroyed and debris has been scattered around. Authorities add that no one was hurt and no animals were lost.
Marijuana is available for retail purchase in South Dakota and not just from medical dispensaries. Those products are marketed as THCA and sold in shops across the state. THCA is a naturally occurring compound in cannabis, which when burned converts to THC. Products sold in South Dakota appear to violate both state and federal law. However, they remain on the market due to a loophole regarding the testing for THC content. We spoke with the director of South Dakota's Public Health Lab and the Attorney General about the subject and how consumers should approach these products. You can find a full explanation of the THCA products in a KELOLAND.com original by Jacob Newton online now.
The average beer is more than 90% water, and the newest offering from the Remedy Brewing Company is made with purified Big Sioux River surface water. In honor of Earth Day, Remedy is partnering with Friends of the Big Sioux River on another batch of Big Sioux Brew.
The cleaning process does take a while because the surface water going through has to filter out a lot of sediment and a lot of extra pollutants, so we're changing out filters a lot.
It's so fun to work with an organization that says, I can hand you something that's stripped down to its base, neutral qualities, nothing in it, and it's up for you guys to create a beer.
Friends of the Big Sioux River collected and cleaned 300 gallons of Big Sioux River surface water for the project. The nonprofit will host river cleanups from 10 a.m. to noon on Saturday in Brandon, Canton, and Sioux Falls, and Watertown with the Big Sioux Brew release party beginning at noon at Remedy at 8th and Railroad in Sioux Falls. And that's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, saying goodbye to this storm system. There it is on the satellite map. Quite a bit of weather with that yesterday. Of course, some heavy rain. We had severe weather in northwest Iowa, as we just talked about. Some tornado touchdowns on the warm sector of that. But I do think now we're making the switch here to some cooler weather. We're not entirely done, though, with the rain. That's actually going to come back tonight for far southern KELOLAND. A recap of some of the rain totals. Sioux Falls Officially at the airport was about 1.33 inches. But if you look just south of Sioux Falls, down here in Turner County, it picked up more than 2. A big part of Lincoln County was much heavier. Lyon County, Iowa, Sioux County really ended up with a lot of weather yesterday. Heavy rain, and then, of course, the tornadoes in the afternoon. And that's just the southeast. You can see the heavy rain from the day prior. Winter the night before had some heavy rain, over 3 inches there. And then several clusters of heavier rain from Rapid City, kind of dotting the maps out there toward Murdo and north. So again, it all adds up. Even the northeast, Aberdeen, Watertown, Huron, we picked up a good average of 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. And so in a month of April, we keep note of all of that. Well, this morning, the numbers have been in the 40s in Watertown, kind of exiting the rain chances there. Let's take a look at Futurecast and where we go next on this forecast. I think low 60s today in Sioux Falls. We've got some wind around this morning that should dial back a little bit here tonight as the rain chances pick up. I want to hone in on that a little bit here. If you look at Valentine and Winter, that's the area that picks up the showers at 6 o'clock this evening. And then that should move towards Sioux Falls there by mid to late evening, and the overnight period rain is looking pretty likely in this area between Sioux Falls down to Sioux City. I would say north of I-90 is not going to be much. It's going to really drop off quite a bit the way things are looking. And then for tomorrow, that northwest wind will really crank up in the afternoon. Mobridge and Gettysburg and Pierre, it'll be every bit of 20 to 40 miles an hour. Sioux Falls, we're going to cut the high down to 54, so several degrees cooler than what we've got today. And then we're going to cut it even more on Friday. And by the time we get to Saturday morning, we're going to be downright cold. We're going to have lows in the 20s, and we'll have some frost and freeze weather, pretty common, at least for a couple of mornings here. So we'll have to deal with that story too for some of the vegetation that's been growing a little bit quicker these days with this warmer weather cycle. There's the wind this afternoon. You can see across southwest Minnesota. Definitely it's stronger there this morning, but see how tomorrow the wind comes back, and it's going to come back again on Friday. It's out of the northwest again, and then by Saturday the wind will cycle down. But that's when the coldest air will arrive. 61 today, Mitchell, your forecast. 50, our temperature in Rapid City. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. And for the most part here, below normal until we get to next week. And then by Monday and Tuesday, I think we'll get back on track and highs in the 60s. So kind of wait it out here a little bit, and then some improvements. Aberdeen in the northeast, upper 40s for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Any clouds, too, will not be helpful. I think by Sunday afternoon, a little bit warmer. And then next week, Monday and Tuesday, it should be back to the 60s. There could easily be a few 70s in western South Dakota by early next week. Right now for Pierre, we've got you at 65 on Tuesday, and that's after those 40s on Friday and Saturday. And Rapid City, well, not very warm. 44 Friday, 45 on Saturday. Check out the complete details online at KENDLELAND.com.